Hello everyone and welcome to our end of year assembly. Who would have thought that we would have come to the end of another school year and still not be able to have our end of year service in the church? But it's been good to keep in touch with you through our online virtual assemblies for the past year, and I've enjoyed being able to speak to you every fortnight, even if I couldn't be in school. I know that you and everyone in school have been working really hard to ensure that Hazlehead Primary continues to be a place where you feel at home, where you have lots of opportunities to be good learners, and where you feel supported. For this end of term assembly, we're going to be thinking about an issue that affects all of us: change. And there's certainly been lots of that in the past year. Things are changing all the time, all over the world. But are they changing for better or for worse? All of us, from the youngest to the oldest, will encounter change during our lives. And here are some statements about change.
I hated the change from primary school to secondary school. Everyone seemed so big, and I kept getting lost because the corridors were so confusing. I moved to a new house last month though, and that was a great change, a massive improvement. I have a cool bedroom, and there's some outside space, and the people next door seem really nice. The world has changed so much since I was a child like you. You wouldn't believe it. We didn't have computers or mobile phones. There was no central heating. And on cold mornings you could write your name in the frost on the inside of your bedroom window. We'd never even heard of climate change, so we didn't have any of that worry about the future of the planet. Still, some of the change is good. Nowadays, they're finding cures for all sorts of diseases. Look at the amazing COVID-19 vaccine. There are lots of stories in the Bible about change, about how people had their lives changed when they met Jesus. Here's one of them. It's the story of Zacchaeus. Little man, big change. One day, Jesus was on the way to Jerusalem, and he went through the city of Jericho. Now the people of Jericho were sad, and they were annoyed because of the very high taxes they were forced to pay. And the reason their taxes were so high was that there were a lot of dishonest tax collectors in the city, who were led by their chief, whose name was Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus and his team of cheats would always collect more tax than the people owed. They would give part of the money to the Roman government, and then they would keep the rest for themselves. And so Zacchaeus became very rich from the money he cheated from his friends and neighbours. And Zacchaeus heard that Jesus was in town, and he'd heard so much about him that he wanted to go and have a look and see what all the fuss was about. But he was so short that he couldn't see above the heads of the people crowded around Jesus. So he looked down the road and he saw a sycamore tree, and he decided that he would climb the tree, and that from up there surely he'd be able to see Jesus then. So he got to the tree, and he climbed up, and he climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed some more, and he climbed and climbed and climbed until finally he was perched high in the tree and able to look right down on the big crowd approaching. When Jesus passed under the tree, he suddenly stopped. He looked up and he saw Zacchaeus. What would Jesus say to this dishonest man that so many people hated? "Zacchaeus, you come down," Jesus said. "I'm going to your house today." Zacchaeus climbed down from the tree as fast as he could. Jesus went with Zacchaeus to his house and had a meal with him. Many people were very angry with Jesus because he went to the home of Zacchaeus. But once Jesus was in his home and they started talking, Zacchaeus changed. He promised Jesus that he would give half of his money to the poor, and if he had cheated anyone, he would pay them back. He promised to repay them 4 times the amount he had stolen. That day, a lot of people in Jericho had their money repaid, and much more than was stolen from them. Zacchaeus was happy too. Jesus had changed his life. That's the story of Zacchaeus, the little man who had a big change in his life when he met Jesus. And now we're going to sing One More Step Along the World I Go. Change is all around us. In nature, we see the most amazing transformations all the time. The tadpole, swimming around in the murky pond, changes into a frog, jumping joyously from lily pad to lily pad. The hungry caterpillar, munching through a pile of leaves, becomes a glorious butterfly, free to fly wherever it chooses. The bare branches of the tree in winter become decorated with bouquets of soft pink springtime blossom. Of course, We also see awful transformations in the world around us. Vast oceans that become polluted with industrial waste and oil slicks and plastics. Immense rainforests that are being chopped down to provide land for agricultural development. People who are starving while others have too much and live in comfort. Here are some questions for you to think about. How do we respond to the amazing transformations in the world around us? Do we take them for granted? Do we even notice? Or do we celebrate these changes? And how do we respond to the awful transformations in the world around us? Do we ignore them and hope they will disappear? Or do we do all we can to highlight these changes, to campaign against them, to do everything we can to make a difference? Change in our lives can be painful. Change can be messy. It can be ugly. It can be lonely. It can be confusing. It can feel like we're being broken. However, change can refine. Change can create something beautiful. Change is necessary. Change is inevitable. And now we're going to have a short prayer. Dear God, we thank you for the amazing changes that go on in the world around us. May we take notice of them and celebrate them. We remember the awful changes that go on in the world around us. May we take notice of them and act to make a difference. We thank you for the positive changes in our own lives. May we appreciate them and embrace them. We remember the difficult changes in our own lives. May we face them with courage and wisdom and grow through them. Change can refine. May we be refined by change. Change can create something beautiful. May we become more beautiful as we change. Amen. And now a blessing to send us on our way into the summer holidays. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. And of course, it wouldn't be an end of year service without singing As We Go Now. And so we're going to finish this online service by singing As We Go Now. I wish you all a very happy holiday, and I hope to see you in the new term. God bless you all. Bye for now.
As we go now from this moment.